ready for the fight. From the court to the field, they shine so bold. With every move, the stories unfold. We're cheering on the youth from the start to the win. Giving them the mic, let their voices begin. Interviews and highlights, we got it all. GN Sports Show, where the young stand tall. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show.
And welcome to the GN Sports Show, episode 7. We're here and want to thank you guys for being here. I'm Jason Cordes, the president of the CGPGA, and my co-host Jonathan Thorgood is not here again this week, but we are replacing him with the beautiful Patrice Jacobs. She's the media and production associate here at Calvin Ayre. And tonight we have a packed lineup. We have Sir Richie Richardson, we have some GNFC Rebels under-7 superstars. We have some golfers from the Antigua golf team, and we also have a special guest from a UK Bethany school, football school, the head coach. All of this in a packed and wrapped lineup for you guys when you return. See you.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys.
Welcome back to the GN Sports Show. On set with us this evening, we have on the 7 GNFC players, Ayre Freeland and Mr. Zaire Sims. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
You're doing good. How are you, Zaire?
Good.
You're good or you're not good? Let me hear you say you're good.
I'm good.
Let me hear you say you're good.
I'm good.
That's right, you're good.
That's right.
So how you guys doing? Let me ask you something. Who get you into playing football? Who make you feel that I want to play football?
My mommy and my daddy.
Your mommy and your daddy?
And what about you, Zaire? Who made you start playing football?
When I was 3.
I can't hear you. You have to talk up a little
No,
louder.
speak up, let me hear you. When you were
3.
3, you liked football? Wow. You have a favorite football team?
Oh, yeah, Generation X.
Generation Next?
Very
What?
nice.
What about you, Zai?
Generation.
Generation Next
It's
as well?
okay to have the same
What?
team. That's fine. So what school do you go to, Ayre?
Postmillennial Academy.
Oh, and what grade are you in?
Grade 1 Cherry.
Oh,
Grade 1 cherry. Right.
Grade one
What about
cherry.
you, Zai? What school you go to?
Postmillennial Academy.
Yes. And what grade?
Grade 1.
Grade 1?
Oh, so you're
What?
both in
Cherry?
grade 1.
We're both in grade 1 Cherry.
So what's the other grade 1? So one is Cherry. What's the other one?
Kiwi.
Oh.
Kiwi? Oh. So you all in the same class?
Yeah.
So who better, Kiwi or Cherry?
Cherry.
Hey. Who's your favorite teacher?
Oh, Miss Christian.
Miss Christian?
And Miss Fodris.
And Miss Forges? Oh.
Who's your favorite teacher, Zaire?
Miss Pinda.
Miss Pinda? Oh.
Miss Pinda. You don't even know Miss Pinda.
That's okay. He can still have Miss Pinda as his favorite teacher.
So do you enjoy playing football?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many days do you go to practice football? Like how many days?
Thursday and Saturday.
Thursday and Saturday.
What about you, Zaya? How many days you go football?
Thursday and Saturday.
Thursday and Saturdays
Same
too?
days? Okay, and what about football players? Like, do you have a favorite football player, Zaire? Yeah, you have. Yeah, who's your
Who's your
favorite?
favorite football player?
Wait, can we pick one?
Ronaldo. Yeah, here you go. Who's your favorite football player?
Messi.
No, don't say it.
Ronaldo.
Don't say it.
Ronaldo.
Don't say
Messi.
it.
Mbappe.
Don't
Neymar.
say it.
Those are some very good players, though. Do you want to be like one of them when you get older? Do you
Yeah.
Yeah?
One more.
You sure?
Two more, I mean.
Two more, tell me.
Vinny Jr. Junior and Bellingham.
And well, no, I could understand those two.
All right,
I could understand
all
those two. But let me ask you something. What you want to do when you grow up? I know you're still, you know, a little kid, but when you grow up, when you get big, what you want to be?
A football player.
A football player?
Firefighter.
And a firefighter?
And a police.
You, how much thing you want to be, boy? What about you, Zai? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Same. Basketball.
Basketball player?
Wait, one more thing for me. A basketball player too.
And
Oh goodness, are you guys gonna play for the same team?
Yes,
right?
you guys have plenty thing to fall back on. If one don't work, you have about five more.
You have to make sure you start early, and that means you have to stay in those books and learn and learn and learn, so that you can be all the things you want to be. Right?
Okay.
So you all score goals and stuff in matches?
Yes.
What about you, Zai? Goals and things you all score? So you all the top under sevens or what?
Wait, I can jump pass on the 7. I can be everybody in on the 7.
You can be
Oh my goodness, so you're
well,
the
we
star
gotta
player.
get you going up to under. What's the other? After under 7 is what?
On the 9.
We gotta get you. How old are you?
6.
Well, let me tell you, we gotta get you. We gotta talk to the people, the forces that be, and get you to go up to under 9.
You think you could take on those under 9 boys?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh Lord have mercy.
No problem. No problem. I could take on under 9.
What
people.
about you, Zari? Do you feel like you could take on those under 9 boys? Yeah, you think you can beat them and score some goals against them? I think you can. I know you
He
can.
don't practice it on the 9.
Well, I gotta see come Saturday. Come Saturday, I'm gonna have to come and see and let's say, Coach, put him in under 9. Let me see what they're doing under 9. And if not,
And if he play good, he can stay.
yes, if you play good, you can stay.
But if he don't, he's going back on the 7.
Yeah. Straight back. But thank you so much for being here, guys. You guys were fun.
Yes, it was very good to meet you guys.
I want to see y'all in on the 9s. But all y'all have to keep killing it in under 7, right? Keep killing it in under 7s.
I can.
You can?
Yeah,
You
okay.
can, right?
Yeah.
But you all both gonna do it. So keep killing it in under 7 and we can see you all in under 9s. All right? So thanks for being here
Yes.
on GN Sports. So you had fun? You had fun?
Yes.
You all wanna come back again?
Yes.
All I have to wait till under 9. Like I'll come back soon. I have to wait till under 9.
Brr.
All right. So thanks again, guys, for coming and see you in under 9.
Bye.
So we'll be back soon. Okay, Juan. So this is Jason and Patrice here. It's a pleasure to have you on the GN Sports Show. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
We just have a couple of questions. You know, we want to hear a lot about Bethany and let our viewers, know what, they can look forward to hopefully becoming a part of Bethany and experiencing all the services and the football and stuff like academics that you guys have over there, right?
Yes, I would say that I am very not used to doing these types of things, but I'm sure I'll do Bethany and yourselves justice.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Now, I wanted to ask you, with a professional football career spanning over 30 years, how do you balance your extensive football expertise with the academic environment at Bethany School?
I guess an holistic approach that recognises the needs of the majority in the team while addressing individual academic requirements. For me, the academics must come first and foremost. So it's finding the balance between the academic timetable and blending a football provision that allows individuals to reach their potential. So a balance that fosters both sporting excellence and intellectual growth with structured planning, clear communication and collaboration with academic staff. We have 2 members of staff that are fundamentally and heavily involved in the football pathway. So we have Jamie Ford, who runs the swimming pool and is a fitness instructor, but is also a housemaster for boarders. He's very much into the football program and really looking forward to the players that join us and taking care of their needs when they're out of curriculum hours, so during the evening while they're boarding. And Tom Henson, who's also an assistant housemaster that also works on the football program. So there's 2 individuals that have worked at Bethany for 8 years and 15 years. So over 20 years between them. So they have a lot of experience of the school and are really 100% behind the football program and looking forward to work with and are working with players on the Pathway program.
Very nice. So, one, what is the primary goal of the Bethany Football Excellence Pathways? What would you say is the primary goal of the program?
We endeavour to nurture well-rounded individuals by combining a football training program with strong academic support. The values of promoting character, developing both in sports and in the classroom. So really looking at transferable skills from the classroom to the sports fields and vice versa are paramount to ensuring a well-balanced individual who in time hopefully will reach their desired goal, reach their potential, and leave the program with a greater understanding and technique in football, but also achieving their academic goals while they're with us.
So let me ask you, Juan, how does your playing experience with clubs like Charlton Athletic and Birmingham City, how does that influence your coaching style and your educational approach in the Bethany Football Excellence Pathways?
Be individualised, so it has to be for the individual and also needs to be for the group. I guess a deeper understanding of the game's demands, so adopting a practical, empathetic coaching style with discipline, resilience and technical growth is key. Also to reinforce the importance of education, as many young players may pursue careers outside football. Playing management is also key to unlock the player's potential. So it's knowing when to be firm with a player, especially when the player is riding high with confidence, to keep them humble, but also to be very supportive to a player that perhaps has lost his confidence, lost his prowess in the football pitch, and be able to put an arm around him to support him in the right way.
Okay, and Juan, as someone who has coached and recruited players who now play professionally for all these years, what key attributes do you believe players need to have, or young athletes need to have, in order to succeed in the field and also in the classroom? Because we know you speak heavily about academics as well.
Definitely transferable skills. So an individual that can take their intelligence from academia and pull it into play on the football pitch. Someone who can work hard and has humility. So someone who interacts with coaching staff, asking them the poignant questions, the right questions, and able to evaluate the answers to the questions, and then turn that into desired goals. So always pushing for excellence, but being humble enough to deal with disappointment on the journey to success, if that makes sense.
You know, Juan, I really admire your approach towards it, on you know, with Bethany, and we spoke to another college earlier on, and you know, we as the Caribbean, we have kids who think that they're going to come to schools in England and so forth, and they're just going to focus on football and football, and they're not realizing that they still need to have that balance and foundation of academics.
Yes.
And that is what makes them a very well-rounded person, because as you mentioned just now, if football, there's life after football, and that's where your education comes in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I really, really admire that stance that Bethany is taking, and yourself, because one of the questions was like, how do you support the athletes in balancing that rigorous football training and athletic training together with the academics? How do you help them balance the both of them?
For me, first and foremost, education has to come first. So parents are paying a lot of money to support their child to come to the UK, not just for the football, but primarily for an education. So there's not going to be many players that have a design and an ambition to make it as a professional footballer. So they have to have something to fall back on, and they need the education to be able to do that. So for me, the education must come first. The football is a byproduct, really. Players will have literally 6 hours of coaching a week. 4 of those hours would be out of school time, so from 5:30 through to 7:30, and then 2 hours training on the Friday, and then games over the weekend. So for me, an individual that comes on the program has to be academically sound, because they're going to miss a certain amount of study time whilst they're pursuing the goal in terms of the football training and the football matches over a period of 9 months. So anyone that comes to Bethany needs to understand that they're not coming for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years just to play football. It's not about the football. It's about trying to create an individual that wants to grow as a character and a personality, but also learn the fundamentals of how to play football and potentially not only reach their potential in football, but most definitely reach their potential in the classroom and come away with decent grades that allows them to go to university or secure a job in which field they choose to do so, or hopefully go on and play professional football, but also be intelligent enough and have the academics to be able to fall back on something if their football career falls short through injury or it just doesn't work out for them.
Yes, and one of the things that we've observed too is a lot of student athletes will go to university, as you rightfully said, thinking they're only going to play football, but there's so much beyond that, because I've seen students who are passionate about football who may not have the technical skills required on the field, but they're then able to move into things like sports medicine and physiotherapy. So, you know, we do totally agree with you that having something to fall back on, which in this case is their academics, is definitely integral for their success.
Yeah, and it's not even really so much say to fall back on, but to build upon. Because you have to build upon your academics, and then sport is just, you know, is the icing on the cake, as you would say, you know.
Yes.
So, and as Patrice rightfully said, some of us, we don't tell our kids that other than football, they love football so much, but there are avenues outside of football, but within football, like sports medicine, like physio, you know, sports broadcasting, like all these different things are things that you could actually venture into. So even if when kids, if they, you know, get hurt and they can't physically play, they can still continue to be a part of the sport that they love.
And it's a good way to fuel your passion just the same.
Yeah. So Juan, let me ask you, is there anyone that you have been exposed to that have gone through your ranks, or someone that you have known that did that balance and was you know, and achieved the goal in having the balance between education and football? Anybody who is professional, anybody that has gone through the ranks that is now a professional player?
I've worked with a few players that have combined both their academics and their football from the academy, from age under 13, 14, all the way through to Scottish team, signing professional contracts at under 17, playing for the under 23s, spending some time with the first team, but also spending a lot of time in the classroom, having 1v1 sessions with tutors to help them to gain their A levels. So there have been a few. There's some that are currently playing in the Championship. There's two that are currently playing in the Premier League, and another that's an international. I don't think it would be fair for me to name names. I think that would be inappropriate. But yes, I have worked with players and been involved with players over my tenure in professional football, either working as a head of recruitment at a Premier League club or a Championship club or a Division 1 club, and or acting academy manager, where players have conducted themselves in the classroom extremely well, very intelligent, but had those transferable skills onto the football pitch and managed to come out with some really good high grades in academics and play professional football. There was actually one player that didn't make the grade. I will mention the club. He was at Charlton Athletic. He didn't quite make the grade, but he realised, and this shows real intelligence, he realised that he didn't think that he would be good enough and at a high enough standard to be able to make professional football, make a decent living in the UK. So he worked extremely hard to ensure that he got a full scholarship to play football in America, and he'd done his education in America, and I believe after 4 years he's still out there now.
So just one more question, Juan. So, you know, as again, you're so insightful with you know, your vision of what these kids needs to come with and also have whilst being there. What is your vision? What is your vision looking ahead in the future for Bethany Football Excellence Pathways? And how do you see it evolving on behalf of students to benefit students and the wider football community?
So I joined Bethany about 18 months ago, and I want to explain myself fully here, and was invited in to speak to the director of sports at the club. And at the time, Bethany were very heavy with rugby, and he wanted to move away from rugby and concentrate solely on football, and asked if I would come on board and work primarily to do PE lessons and coaching the first teams in the school, which I did. After a period of time, he then approached me and said, is there anything that we could do in the school to improve the football? So I devised this 3-level tier program, so level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 3 is structured around international players coming from Antigua and further afield to board at the school and be part of the football process. So my vision involves expanding the program to improve resources, maintain and improving relationships that I already have with current professional football clubs, but also fostering collaborations with the other professional football clubs and universities, integrating cutting-edge training methods. So when I look at professional academies and I look at what players have access to, they have the sports psychologists, they have the nutritionists, they have the coaches, they have the analysis, they have everything there for them, health and well-being. I wanted to create and have created at Bethany the closest thing I can get to an academy environment. So yes, we have a coaching syllabus. Yes, we have a fully equipped gym with a fitness instructor that's going to do tailor-made programs for players to help them to improve their strength, their conditioning, their speed, their agility. But there's one thing that's usually missed out of all those things that I've decided to put into a program, which is a sports psychologist. So I worked with a sports psychologist when I was at Fulham, and the reason why I brought him into the fold was that I had 2 players that signed at under 15s, towards the end of under 15s, that was vying for a 2-year scholarship in 6 months' time. And it was extremely hard for them to come into a professional academy environment where, if you can imagine, you've got players that have been there for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Some have been there since the year of 6, and they're looking for a professional scholarship. And all of a sudden, 2 players come in and sign 6 months before decisions are made. So those players in that academy are not going to make it easy for those players, because potentially they're taking their position and or they're taking their friend's position. So they found it really hard when they came back at pre-season. So I brought in a mindset coach, a sports psychologist, to do a pilot scheme with them for six months. Now, sadly, both players didn't get signed at that football club that I was at. But the work that he did with them enabled them to go on and get scholarships at other football clubs. So for me, in terms of my vision, it's creating a football program, an academic program, that as close can be to what players get in a professional academy, and something that everyone will start talking about and reflect on over the next 2, 3, 4 years and say, hey, that school, Bethany, they're doing a fantastic job.
Again, we want to thank you so much, Juan, for being a part of the GN Sports Show. It was indeed a pleasure on behalf of Patrice and I and the GN Sports Show. Thank you so much for your time, for all your knowledge, and definitely, we would extend all this information to all our young budding professional footballers to take a look into Bethany, and you know what I mean, maybe we'll be talking to you much sooner. So have a wonderful, night? Cheers.
And all the best.
Thank you so much. Take care.
And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And as said before, we have a big treat for you guys tonight. We have Sir Richie Richardson, former West Indies captain and ICC match referee. Richie, it's a pleasure to have you here, man.
Thanks very much for having me on your very special show. When Ricky called me up some time ago, I said, once I'm back in Antigua, I'll be here.
Yeah.
And so I'm delighted to be here, to be part of your program, and I hope that we we'll have a very exciting time here tonight.
We will.
Definitely.
That we will.
Wonderful.
So why don't I kick off? Very simple question. What inspired you to pursue cricket as a career, and how did growing up in Five Islands basically shape your journey as a cricketer?
Well, by nature, I was born to spend time outdoors and to be very, very active. And from the time I was born, I believe I was very, very active, playing sports, running around, whatever, before I could even walk. Just joking. But from a very early age, back in the small village of Five Islands, we didn't have a lot to do other than to be outside playing, whether cricket, football, rounders, going into the bushes, hunting birds, chasing animals. We used to have a lot of animals, like goats. My brother used to herd goats, and then from time to time they will go away and don't come back and get wild, so we used to have to go and hunt them with our dogs. So I grew up in the outdoors, with lots of animals around us. My father was a farmer. He had animals, and so we grew up around animals and stuff like that. But cricket we used to play for 6 months, and football for 6 months. So of course, during the cricket season, you wake up in the morning, you go and do your chores, and then before you go to school, you'll be playing cricket.
Wow.
Then you get to school a little bit early. Before the bell rings, you're playing again, And then recess time, you're playing. Lunchtime, you get home early, eat what you have to eat, get back early, play again before you go to school, So, cricket was very much in my blood from a very early age, and so it is with football as well.
Right.
And I can recall when I was about maybe 8 or 9, my mother had sent me somewhere on a tour, and the West Indies were playing against Australia. And back then we didn't have television, and everybody, well, not everybody, but a few people would have those small Ovaltine transistor radios. You're probably too young to it. So everybody would be glued to. Maybe 5, 6, 7 people be glued to one little transistor radio, listening and getting really excited about names like Sobers and Hall and Griffith and all these guys.
Right.
And and I said to myself, why is everybody so caught up and so taken aback with these people? They must be very, very important people, and they must be great at what they do. And then I said to myself, I would like to be like them one
That's
day.
right.
And then I started taking the game a little bit more serious, thinking about it a bit more, working harder. And I can recall I used to always hang around the men and play with the men. My mother didn't like it because she thought I was going to get hurt. But I'm thinking, if I want to get better, it's best I play with the men or the people who are better.
Right.
Then if I can hold myself
more experienced
amongst the men, then I'll get where I want to get very, very quickly. Because I wanted to play for the West Indies from a very, very early age. And so back then it's just wind ball cricket we used to play.
Right.
Didn't play hardball cricket until I went to Others Comprehensive School at the age of 12. And I used to come back to Five Islands, prepare my own pitch and get the guys to come and bowl to me and stuff like that.
Impressive.
And practice. I used to practice so hard. I used to have calluses in both hands. My back used to be sore, but I used to be soup. You know that word? You know what it means?
No.
You know what soup means?
No.
Ricky, you know what soup is? Look, let me tell you something. You cannot, if you really want to excel in sport, you have to love it. Love it to the point where you would die for it.
Yes.
You would sacrifice everything for it, even food.
Wow.
And that's, if you go to Five Island and ask all of my friends what my nickname is, they would say soup or super, because I was soup. Every opportunity I got to play cricket or football, I was there. My house is on the other street. I was across the road from the football, from the park, the playing, the recreational ground, and I am always out there. In the afternoon, once I finish my schoolwork, homework, I'm out there before practice time, before everybody, trying to get in as much time, doing an extra lap or two, so I can be fitter than everybody else.
Yes.
And the guys used to just call me soup. They used to say I'm soup, And you have to be soup. If you really want to excel in anything, you have to love it. You have to be dedicated, and you have to make a lot of sacrifices.
Yes.
I can recall at one stage I stopped hanging out on the block at nights with the guys. I would be out there playing sports until it gets dark. Then I'm in my house, in my books and stuff like that. Because I realized in order to get somewhere, you have to make sacrifices.
Yes.
You have to be different. If you're gonna hang around on the block and messing around, you're gonna lose some opportunity to really focus on what you really want to do in life.
I hope you young student athletes are listening everywhere. It's academics and sports.
And
Of course.
academics number one.
Because you see, the thing is, there's no guarantee that you're going to make it in sports.
Yes.
You can get an injury, or you might not be good enough.
Yes.
But the academics, schoolwork is very, very important, because that will set you up for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You know, so I always encourage
that.
youngsters to get involved. You know, not to set aside your schoolwork. Focus on your schoolwork, and then when you have that little extra time, you can focus on sports or whatever else you want to do. I mean, there's
Because
a
of
lot of opportunities, and sports in general is growing worldwide, and there's so many different aspects of the game where you can be involved with.
Yeah.
And you can be a professional, and you can make a living. But also, I would like to say that playing sports, especially as a young person, it helps to develop character. It helps you to build character
Yes.
and discipline. Because
Most
you
importantly,
have to be
discipline.
disciplined to play sport. And certain sports like cricket, football, most sports, you have to be really, really disciplined, and it helps you.
Yeah.
So I would encourage youngsters, even if you don't have the talent, just play it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help you in some other aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
So, you know, in your early days with Leeward Islands and, you know, your debut for the West Indies had a lot of challenges, you know, we know, including losing your luggage and you know, having limited practice. How did you overcome such obstacles and to make your mark on the team?
I don't really call them challenges, you know, because, you know, I'm lucky. Because I had a mother who
I like
taught
that.
me a lot of things, right? And I mentioned the word sacrifice before. And when something happens to you and it looks to others like it's a challenge, for me, it's a motivation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me dig deeper. When I get dropped, I played one test match and I get dropped. You think I went in the back and started crying, started blaming the selectors and captain? No. I said,
Wow.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work even
You have
harder.
to work harder, right?
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. I mean, if somebody criticized me, you know, I said, fine. It's going to make me work harder, dig deeper, and I take these things as positive.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want anything easy, and I've never wanted anything easy. I've always
I like
prepared to
that.
work hard. I've always been up early in the morning, doing extra work, running up to today. When I'm at home, before the sun rises, I'm outside. I'm on the golf course running around.
Yeah.
You know, taking the golf club, hitting some balls, exercising. You know what I mean? I just keep going all day, you know. So you have to put in the work, and life was not meant to be easy.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And the people who can rise above obstacles, can deal with challenges, are the ones who normally succeed.
Yes.
You know, so and you have to, like, there are times when I want things to be difficult for me, because when it's that way, I'm going to dig deeper and it's going to bring the best out of me.
Right.
And that's me by nature. I'm quiet, unassuming, but deep inside, I'm very strong, very, very competitive. And I like it when it's challenging. I don't like it when it's easy.
Yes, for sure. And I'm very glad you answered that, because we did have a question about what advice you would give to young cricketers when they face criticism, and you answered that so beautifully.
Yeah.
You know, just striking that balance between trying to get to where you need to go, but not seeing the challenges, as you rightfully said.
Yeah.
So during your time, you know, you were known for your flamboyant batting style and your resilience against fast bowlers, we all know. How would you say that you developed that kind of mental and physical toughness that was required?
It started back in Five Islands in
Yes.
our community. We're a very small village, but we had 3 sections. We have top village, bottom village, and the northern section we call Kasipasa. Kasipasa. Right, so we used to have fierce competition.
Right.
In whatever sports we play. Even if we're just playing friendly cricket or friendly football,
Yeah.
it was always very, very competitive. And we were always competing against each other. And there'll be a lot of bantering and whatever. I mean, it was serious. And I think that's where I learned that competitive nature. There are times when we end up in arguments and almost fights and stuff
Yes.
like that. But I never got involved with the fights. You know,
smart.
but I'm the sort of person where I would not even verbally respond to anything that anybody say.
That is
But
good.
I take it in and use it to motivate me to want
Yes.
to beat these people.
Yes.
I mean, and that's why I compete even today, playing golf.
Yeah.
If somebody challenge me, then I suddenly start playing better.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if you say I can't do this, I say, then I'm gonna do it. You know,
Yes.
and that's me. And you know, playing the sport, I've always been highly competitive, and believe that I can be better than the best. If somebody keep talking about a particular player, saying football, he's the best footballer, and they're talking about him, when I come up against him, I'm going to want to show him that I'm just as good as you are,
That is
or
right.
even better. You know what I mean? I was never afraid. I remember when I was a youth playing for Five Island once, there was this guy from playing for Empire called Scout. Scout was like a big guy, and a lot of people were afraid of him.
Right.
And I'm saying, I can't wait to play against this guy. You know what I mean? And when I get the chance to play against him, I don't know, at King George, Keighley Shepherd Recreational Park, I challenge him.
Yes.
And I wasn't afraid, and that's me. You know,
David Goliath.
Yeah, you know, and that's my nature. You come up against the fastest bowlers in the world, I want them, man.
Yes.
I want them.
Yes.
I can recall when I was going to school and West Indies were playing against Australia. In Australia, I think it was 1975-76, and Australia beat West Indies 5-1. And they didn't just beat West Indies; they annihilated West Indies. Players were getting hurt, getting hit. The blood, you see blood dropping from their body onto the crease and stuff like that. And I'm like, as a young boy, I'm saying, I want to revenge this. I want to revenge. No, seriously, I want to be this guy.
Yep,
Dennis Lilly and Jeff Thompson and Pasco, these guys were doing a lot of damage to our players, and I just wanted them.
Yes.
And I'm saying, I want to play for Western so I can meet Australia.
So that was like
That
a
was the
fuel.
fire.
Oh yeah, man.
Right there.
And when I remember when I first went to Australia Dennis Lee retired just the series before I got there, so like months before. Jeff Thompson was still playing. Then we were playing against Queensland, which a club that Jeff Thompson played for. So when we arrived, I think our first warm-up game was against Queensland, and Jeff Marsh, who is a former Australian wicketkeeper, he said the best way to beat the West Indies is to knock their so-and-so heads off.
Wow.
Right? So me now as a young boy, I didn't say nothing. I said, well, I wanted to try to knock my head off, you know. So we got to Queensland, and also I think Tomo had gotten dropped, and he was making a comeback against West Indies to try and use that game to get back onto it.
Right.
And when I was finished with him, the media was saying, "Oh, that's the end of the time." And I was a young boy, you know.
You showed him.
And that's my nature. If somebody's good, I want to challenge them. You know, I'm never afraid of anybody, and I always want to compete against the best and try to be better than the best, and that's my nature.
Well, as you're saying that, when you were captain in the West Indies team after Sir Vivian Richards, I know that must have been daunting a little bit. What lessons did you learn about, you know, handling pressure and stuff like that?
Well, firstly, I didn't have much experience as captain. We were playing for the Leeward Islands. Viv was captain. I was vice captain. And Viv hurt his finger in the first match, couldn't play. Wow. And then I took over during that match against Barbados. And then we won that match and all the other matches. And we had we clean sweep everybody.
Wow.
And we won the tournament for the first time. And all of a sudden people say, oh, he's a good captain, blah, blah, blah. You know? But I never looked at myself as a captain. I just was there. I was a team man. And what I did very quickly is to get the guys together and work along with them.
Right.
And get everybody on board and get everybody involved and make everybody feel like, look, it's not just about me or the captain or so and so, it's everybody.
Everyone.
We all got to come together and work as a team, and we were very successful.
Because that was
And
my question.
Yeah.
How did it improve your leadership, or how did it bring out that leadership part of you?
Well, I guess maybe I had it in me naturally because at school I was captain of the football team, captain of the cricket team, captain of the top of the form team. I was prefect, I was head boy, I was everything.
So you was a sir before becoming a sir.
So I guess people saw leadership
in you.
qualities
Yes.
in me.
Yeah.
You know, because the teachers at school used to always sort of use me as an example and project me to lead.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was there, and so I guess it wasn't very difficult for me to transfer that into my
Be in your habitat.
Yeah, you know. So when they asked me at first, I wasn't expecting it, and then I spoke to my manager at the time, Victor Michael, who Ricky knows very well, and he said, "Look, because Desmond Haynes was vice captain, he was in line to take over from Sir Viv.
Wow.
So we all expected Desmond Haynes to take over.
Right.
So when Stephen Kamasha from Western Cricket Board called me and said, look, you know, we're thinking of making some changes, and we'd like to invest in younger players, and we'd like you to be the captain. I said, but what happened to Desi? Desi was my friend. You know, I expected him to be there. And I felt uncomfortable because
Yes,
I really like Desmond
understandably.
Haynes. He was good to me. And I just thought that he should be the captain. But then after speaking to Victor said, well, look, that's a great honor, you know, and not many people get an opportunity to captain the country. So my first reaction was I was surprised because I didn't expect it. But then when I started thinking about it, I felt proud for them
Yes.
to think that of me. I mean, this must be
The little
great
Five
thing.
Island boy.
Yeah, little boy from behind God's back. 'Cause
Behind
that's how they used to refer to us from Five Islands. You know, we're behind God's back.
Lord.
And we backward and that kind of stuff. So
Well, you know, God had the tricks in the backpack, right?
whenever we come to town, we want to prove to the people in town and the rest of Antigua that okay, we might be behind God's back, but we
We're the best.
can do things.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
right.
Right? Our football team, Five Islands.
Oh.
we won the championship 5 years in a row. We dominated football.
Wow.
Wow.
For a small little village, and we dominated football.
That
in
is
Antigua for a
amazing.
number of years. I mean, it was just, and we used to train hard. We used to be the fittest team in Antigua.
So Five Islands is like a pot of soup.
Oh yeah.
Only
oh,
soup dominated Five
oh,
Islands.
yeah.
like
Soup
that.
people,
I like
soup
that.
people, soup people. Yeah.
No, you mentioned Australia earlier, and you know all the battles against them. So during your time and the 9 centuries against them, what would you consider your greatest achievement on the field?
Against Australia or
Yes,
in general?
well, both actually.
Well, okay, I'm gonna be all over the place, right?
That's fine.
For me, the greatest thing in cricket is when I got that call, or when I heard that I was selected for the West Indies. I knew it was gonna happen, and I wanted it. But then when I actually got that call,
Yeah, different.
I mean that
Wow.
changed my life. I said yes. But I didn't rest on my laurels. I realized that I'm gonna have to work even harder, you know, because you're talking about being amongst greatness,
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
people. When I got selected to go to India for the first time, I got selected to play my first test match. I felt like I was just floating. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like I was thrusted into a heaven of stars. You know, we talk about Clive
Yeah.
Lloyd.
Yes, yes,
You know,
yes.
Imagine.
Vivian Richards, Gordon Greenwich, Desmond Haynes, Michael Holding, Malcolm Marshall, Joel Garner.
Yeah,
all
those
these
names,
great,
man.
great
Big
people.
names.
And this little boy from Five Island is in that mix. You know, I remember when I went out to play my first match, I do not remember how I got from the pavilion to the
Wow.
middle of the pitch.
Wow.
It's like I was floating.
Floating,
Yes,
ethereal.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
You know, I was so nervous, man. You know, and I got out there and I got out for a duck. I wasn't really out, but the umpire got the better of me. He gave me out when I wasn't really out. But then I said to
Oh,
myself,
boy.
you know what? If this is out, because I actually played the ball, hit the face of the bat,
Right.
onto my pad, and they appealed for LBW and umpire gave me out. So I said to myself, this is gonna be tough, but I'm gonna enjoy it.
You're gonna, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
enjoy the
yeah.
challenge.
One
you know?
thing I can say
And-
about you is
yeah.
you take every challenge
Yeah,
and
man.
really
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
it into
yeah.
motivation, and that is so
Yeah.
admirable.
So playing for the West Indies for the first time was probably my greatest moment, and the second greatest moment was when I made my first Test 100 in Barbados against Australia.
Lovely.
Because my coach Gaia would used to always say, look, nobody will recognize you unless you score centuries.
Wow.
You got to score hundreds. You know, and I embraced that. You know, and so when I scored my first Test match 100 against Australia and Barbados, that was very special because
Had
that
to be.
I said to myself, well, I know I'm definitely going to make
I'm
it.
in the big leagues
Because
now.
I've scored 100. I think it was only my 6th Test match.
Wow.
You know, and to have done that, I said, well, look, I'm here.
That
I
was
can do it.
massive.
I'm not gonna look back. And another highlight for me in international cricket is when the West Indies, because I'm a team man,
Yep.
we beat England 10-0, 5-0 in the Caribbean, and we whitewashed them in England and blackwashed them in the Caribbean consecutively. You know, 2 consecutive series, and that doesn't happen really. You don't
Yes.
really beat somebody 5-0 easily,
Right,
And we did it.
right.
We did it back to back twice, and to be part of the setup on the Clive Lloyd, it was highly professional. The guys were hard workers, very, very dedicated. They were tough. If you as a player, you slip up, they'll be jumping on you, making sure you do the right thing. You're allowed to have a bit of fun, but then when it comes to cricket or training, you got to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these guys were highly professional, and I just felt good being part of that highly professional setup.
Yes.
I mean, it was a well-oiled machine, and it looked easy when we performed because we were beating people easy. But what people didn't see is the hard work
That went
we
on
put in,
behind the
and the
scenes.
amount of meetings. We used to have meetings for like 3 and 4 hours.
Wow.
You know, just discussing strategies and discussing the opposition and how we're going to play and blah, 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 and stuff like that. Doesn't happen today.
Yes.
But we used to put in the work.
So the mental strain, for lack of a better word, of being a professional athlete, cricketer, and so forth. What advice would you give the young cricketers coming up to handle, of how to handle setbacks, how to handle criticism in the media or within their own community? Like, you know, what? Give me some advice. Give them some advice. How to handle the
Well,
falls.
you have to understand and accept that nobody's perfect.
Right.
And you're going to have failures. And, you know, if you listen to some of the great athletes, like Michael Jordan, for example, he would say he failed many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if he, you know, and because of that urge him to dig deeper, to work harder.
Yes.
You have to learn to accept failure.
Yeah.
You know, and
part of growth.
yeah, and you cannot, you know, bury your head in the sand and become despondent. You just gotta keep fighting, keep digging. You know, you gotta believe that you can conquer.
Yeah.
If you don't have that belief, if you don't have that inner belief that you can achieve, you will never ever achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the people who fail are the people who are very negative. They don't believe in themselves, and
Yeah.
they're not prepared to take on these challenges. You know, I mean, I've seen a lot of youngsters when I was growing up in cricket and football who were, in my opinion, better than me.
Wow.
But they didn't want it as much
As you did.
I wanted it. You know, and that was it. I mean, I can recall some players who, when I look at them, I say, look, wow, these guys are so good.
Yeah.
But
They don't have the hunger.
but it's not. It takes more than just talent.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, that you have to love it so much above everything else that you always
And there's
want.
another important thing, you know, you have to be able to think and work out situations. You have to be
Yes.
smart. You have to be able to
Yes.
play smart and be able to assess situations. You have to be able to understand the opposition because you're playing against people.
Right.
And they're planning against you. They want to cut you down. They want to bring you down. So you have to be able to understand where they're coming from so you can plan for them
Right.
as well. So
What's your legacy? What's your legacy that you want to leave for West Indies cricket, for the young cricketers coming up? Just let us know what is your legacy before you go.
I just want people. Well, firstly, I just launched a book,
Huh?
and
Yes,
and
that
I've
was
said
lovely.
many years. I've never written a book before. I've had many offers, and I've said I don't know. I don't think I really want to write a book. You know, I have a lot of things, a lot of saucy and interesting things that I could write about, but no, what happens in Vegas stays in
Vegas.
right? And then I used to say, if I do an autobiography, I mean, my story's out there already.
Right.
So I was not motivated to really do it, even though a lot of people say you should. But then I've always thought that cricket, the history of cricket and the legacy of Western cricket should be taught in our learning institution,
Yeah.
school,
Indeed.
universities, college, and stuff like that. You know, and I don't think we do enough of that because the culture of our cricket has died. It's very easy to focus on the players on the field, but every single person in our communities need to be a part of it.
Right.
And if our cricket is taught in the schools, the youngsters grow up learning about Sir Garfield Sobers and all these great names and what they did for West Indies cricket and how they helped to liberate, you know, people in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
they will want to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when Professor Denzel Williams approached me about doing this with the university, I said, no problem. I did it willingly and we did it very, very quickly. And I'm very pleased because I want people in the Caribbean to really know and understand what West Indies cricket means to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially way back when our people were very, very poor, and a lot of them would go to England looking for work. they had nothing to hold on to. The way they were treated, the only thing that they could hold on to is West Indies cricket.
Yes.
And how well the team did when the team was there and stuff like that. So for me, I just want people to know about me, know about West Indies cricket, what I have done for West Indies cricket, what we have done for West Indies cricket, the importance of West Indies cricket, and where we have been. We were the best in the world for a number of years,
Yes.
and we need to get back to where we were. It's not going to be easy, but I think we can. But it's gonna take a holistic effort, and we need to rebuild our cricketing culture. Everybody needs to be focusing on cricket again. You need to have parents supporting the kids. The community is coming out to support the village teams and stuff like that, and rebuild that culture. And then if we can do that, then I'll be very, very happy, because I want us to be really, really strong again. Cricket is embedded in our genes, and we really need to really invest in the youths. Create the opportunity for them to come through and to bring back the glory days of West Indies cricket.
Well, I'm sure as Commissioner of Sports for Antigua and Barbuda that this will definitely fall under your mandate as well.
Well, yes, I hope I get the opportunity. It's not fully in place yet. I'm still very busy with the ICC, doing my match referee duties internationally. So hopefully as soon as I'm finished with that, I can get involved with helping the government and all the sporting bodies in Antigua and Barbuda to lift sports in general, not just cricket and football, but all sports.
Yeah.
And because look, we have a lot of talent here in Antigua.
We do.
We're very, very talented in Antigua and the Caribbean. We are talented people, and we just need as much exposure, as much help. Of course, we have financial challenges, but challenges can always be overcome.
That's right.
Once you have the drive and the belief that you can overcome it, and I believe I have the drive. So given the opportunity, I believe I can do wonders.
Amazing.
Well, so you heard it. Challenges are to be overcome, and it can be overcome. Don't look at any negatives. It's just a building block to get to your positive.
Exactly.
We've heard from one of our icons, one of the voices of Antigua cricket, Sir Richardson, and we want to thank you again for being a part of the GN Sports Show. And we're going to always stay with you and find out more and more that you're going through. He's now an author.
Yes, please
Look
get
for
the
many
book. It's a very good read.
Best-selling
Very
lineup.
good read.
So, Sir Rich, thank you so much
Been a pleasure.
for being here.
Pleasure, my friend.
So we'll see you guys soon. And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. And tonight we also have some golfers from the Cedar Valley Golf Course with the golf professional Marlon George, and we have Nathan Stort and Kamali Thomas. Welcome, guys, to the GN Sports Show.
So, gentlemen, welcome. Nathan, since you're right there, I will start with a few questions with you. So, we've been told that you discovered golf in the summer of 2022. So, you've been playing for approximately 2 years or just about, right?
Yes,
Can you share with us what initially drew you to the sport of golf?
So originally I've tried multiple sports and I didn't really found an interest in any of them. So my mom decided to enroll me in golf. At first I didn't really think it was interesting,
Right.
So I tried it, and first day I fell in love with it instantly.
That's nice.
And yeah, simple.
So over the 2 years, how would you say your passion has grown? And I mean, I know it's still a relatively short time, but where do you see yourself going in the upcoming years?
In upcoming years, I really see myself becoming a professional. Although it will be hard, but yeah.
But you're not scared of them challenges, are you?
Mildly.
Mildly.
The hardness will shape you, man.
Definitely.
So, Kamali, what inspired you to take up golf, and how has your father's influence shaped you to your journey as a golfer?
Originally, my dad inspired me to take up golf. At first, he gave me my first set of clubs, but I didn't really like it at first. I was playing football originally.
Oh.
After a while, my mom pushed me more and more to become a golf player.
So did you give up football?
Yeah.
Wow, golf is
I mean, I have to
on
say
your
something
mind.
for the mothers, though.
Yeah.
The mothers.
Moms, don't let them give up
Moms,
football.
What's up, right? So back to you really quickly, Nathan. So You mentioned dabbling in different sports, but we also know that you do music and apparently you love the beach. Is that
That's
so? Okay, so how do you say that you've been able to seamlessly balance your interests across all of these things?
So music and the beach helps me to relax. So
Good.
also in golf, relaxation is key.
Yes.
Because when on the golf course, you can't really get nervous. You can, I mean, it's a natural thing, but you can't really let it get to you, or else
Right.
it'd have a domino effect on your game, causing you to lose a tournament. Or yeah,
And you seem like a very calm person and very mature, so I'm very sure that you really have been able to balance these really well. So kudos to you on that.
thank you.
Well, Kamali, what about you? Like winning first place in the men's division in St. Martin, how was that? And it is a remarkable achievement, first of all. So how was that for you? What did that victory mean to you, and how has that influenced you so far to push forward to becoming more and more professional?
It means a lot to me, showing that I can compete on a high level, going head to head with other players. What was that question?
How did it influence you and your approach to the game?
It influenced me by making me take my time on the golf course and playing.
More meticulously, your focus now. You have more focus now because you.
Yeah, I'm taking it more serious.
Yeah, because you win. You now realize you could win. You now
Yeah.
realize you're the man.
And then
You have to
get
be looking.
more
You know what I mean?
exposure. You're not just among your peers here in
Yeah.
Antigua.
Yeah.
So that exposure definitely is.
How did you feel when you went abroad? You know, you went abroad. You're representing now. How did you feel? How did you feel now that you're out of your country? You're facing these other people from different places. What was the feeling like for you?
Very nervous.
Very nervous.
At first, I didn't think I was going to even be up in the first or second place.
Wow.
And look at you, you came out on top. So
On
you
top.
really were able to overcome that. So Nathan, back to you really quickly. One of the things that we love to advocate for is a balance between sports and academics. I'm sure your coach here also drills this into you. And across a lot of different sports, we've heard coaches and parents stress the importance of striking a good balance between academics
Definitely.
and sports. So aside from golf, when we spoke to you earlier, you mentioned that you're also interested in mechanical engineering. How do you see that fitting into your life alongside your goals in golf?
So mechanical engineering, really, it would help me to design my own clubs and to basically fit them for my personal usage. And that's basically it. But for progressing my game, we can invent other utilities like better launch monitors and simulators to help better my game.
No, you're in that zone, man.
Coach Marlon,
You're
watch out.
in that zone.
Sounds good.
You know what I mean? So Kamali, you know, you have competed in various prestigious tournaments, right? Including the Prep Tour in South Florida, you know, the Junior PGA. How have these experiences helped you and shaped you into a better golfer?
It have helped me seeing the skill level on my age to see what I have to compete against.
Yes.
So what was it when you went abroad now to South Florida and so forth? Did you see golfers who were younger than you and felt like, wow, they're really good,
They're
or
really
they're real determined, and now I really had to step up my game?
I have to step up again to compete with those guys.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to make a point that, based on what Kamali just said, that sometimes you travel and the exposure is good, but it's not just being able to travel and getting that opportunity,
Yeah.
but it's always what you take from it. And being able, like you said, as Jason asked you, seeing younger athletes and older athletes and realizing that, okay, this is where I am, but this is where I want to be. I'm sure that that must have really influenced your motivation and pushed you a little bit harder when you got home. And I'm sure you were able to bring back some lessons to your fellow athletes as well, right?
Yes, I did.
Very good, very good. So Nathan, and to you too, Kameron, we know that there's nothing in life that comes easy. Early on the show, we had Sir Richardson with us, and one of the things that he spoke about a lot was a lot of the challenges that he faced as a cricketer. So every sport, everything in life really comes with challenges.
Yep.
But what would you say to this point, you know, for your 2 years in golf, has been the most valuable lesson that you've learned on the course, and how do you feel like that has shaped your perspective as a young man?
The most valuable lesson I've learned is, as Coach Marlon always says, is to be disciplined. You really need to be disciplined if you really want to reach far.
Right.
So, and or even on the golf course, as I said earlier, you have to be calm and collective.
Yes.
But about you, Kamali? Same thing.
Oh, confidence is key. If you're not confident, you can't go for the shots.
I like that. So you have to believe in yourself
You have
to
to
ensure
believe in
that you
yourself.
can get ahead. I like that. And would you guys say, because based on your age, would you say that the discipline that you've learned on the golf course has helped you in other areas of your life?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So that means it's a good transition.
It's a
then.
good transition.
Yeah.
So, with your interest, we got to understand that you have an interest in architecture and building technology, Kamali.
Yeah.
Just like my boy Nathan there, he's into engineering. You know, how do you see yourself balancing a professional golf career and, you know what I mean, a future in design and architecture and stuff like that?
So if I was going to a university, I would still be on the golf team, but still doing the technical drawing classes.
I mean, all the best on the course.
Thank you.
Continued success
Yep.
on the course.
So, Marlon, the stage is yours. Stage is yours. Welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Thanks for having us.
So, go ahead, Bridges.
Yeah, so as a coach, what would you say initially drew you to golf? We know you've been around for a while, you know, your name is very well known. What would you say initially drew you to the sport, and how did your early experiences at the Cedar Valley Golf Club shape your love for the sport?
Getting into golf was just sheer accident on my part. I was hanging with my dad, and we ended up way down by the golf course. And I saw some kids playing, and I wanted to try, so he took me there on a Saturday, and they had a junior program, and I got into the junior program, and I never left since then.
Wow.
Wow, look at that sheer accident that
just-
became
just
a whole
absolutely.
career. I like that.
Yep, that's inspiring. You know, talking about inspiring, you know, what inspired you to shift your focus from competitive playing to coaching? And how has your perspective of the game, you know, evolved as a coach? Because now you're in charge now.
Honestly, I was tired. I was tired of getting up every day, practicing. I was living in Boston, and it's just getting up every day, practicing, putting in the work. And I love teaching golf, so I would try to incorporate both of them, me practicing and teaching at the same time. And I just got to the point where I just said, let me do it for a living. And I took my playability test, got into the PGA program, and then I started doing school for golf, and I loved it from since then.
Wow. Well, it shows, Marlon.
And it's definitely what we were talking about earlier. Loving the sport so much,
Yeah.
being so passionate about it that it doesn't matter what area comes up within the sport. You don't always have to be a player. You can be a coach. You can take on another role
That is true.
and still be able to fulfill your passion. So
Yep,
that's
yep.
really, really impressive. So with your over 25 years of coaching experience, how would you define what your philosophy is? And for all the different players that you've trained over the years, do you have to like tailor your approach to the players based on their abilities and their goals?
Should I lie, guys? Not really. Over the years, I'd say that I've calmed down a lot. I've calmed down a little with this bunch because, boy. But the number one thing that I think that everyone should teach as a coach is just discipline.
Yeah.
You got to be disciplined to your craft. It's not getting up and coming to practice, and when you get to practice, you're just going through the motion. It's put in 100% because there are kids out there that want the same thing that you want
That you
and
want.
want it more than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to want it as much as they do. So I think discipline and just, hard work.
Yes, absolutely.
Which group to you has been the most rewarding as a coach, and why?
I would say young kids, age 6 through 10. Kamali, those guys are past that, so thank
Wow, you guys were there that time?
you. So just the young kids, just to see how they grow over time, to see that when they started, they had no clue what golf was, what golf is, and then by the time you're 5-6 years in, and then you see their growth, their development, and then after a while, their passion for the game, I think that is the most rewarding of all.
Yeah, I can see it. You're saying it and I'm seeing it.
Yeah, that's
it's-
right. No, Jason and I really enjoy mentoring as well, mentoring younger kids. But I just wanted to go back to your younger days because, you know, we a little birdie told us that at the tender age of 16 that you were able to represent your team at the Eastern Caribbean Championship. How would you say, first of all, how did playing in the interclub matches make you feel, and how would you say your growth as a golfer and your mindset for the game changed following that experience?
I would say at first I was very reluctant to go play with the older guys, but Vincent James really encouraged me. I have to give him credit, and Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis have passed, but Mr. Francis have been a very big influence on me going forward in golf. He always told me that I had the game to play at that level, and you know, just playing and qualifying for our national team. I played my first national team tournament in Montserrat. A little sidebar, when we were going down on the plane, they were talking about you have to sing the national anthem because you're the youngest on the team. I didn't sleep that night.
Oh my goodness.
But Kerry Martin, Mr. Francis was just playing a joke on me. But it was a lot of fun, I would say, and just being with the older players and learning from them and meeting the other kids and the other older players from other countries just motivate you. Listen, I have to come back next year, or I have to go to the other country to play. So that was, you know, one of the big key motivators.
Very nice.
So as the founder of Striving for Excellence Golf Academy, right? The founder we're talking about now, founder of this academy. What strategies do you use to help, you know, curate and influence these young golfers, motivate them?
The truth, guys, I yell at them a lot.
Yeah, it works. It works because they're doing something good. They're winning. So it works.
I would say that Striving for Excellence, along with Sir Rich, he is our basically the president, the manager of
Very nice.
Striving for Excellence. I have to say Coach Ski. We have to talk about Coach Ski. He's not here, but Coach Ski is one of the biggest, our big coach. He's the, I would say, calming one out of all of us. So I do the screaming and he just come along and mop up all the screaming that I do. But it came about where I think that my experience in the States, I think that a lot of our junior golfers can have that experience. I think that it's an avenue for them to move forward and get a free education if they work hard enough. It's not going to be easy, but they have to work hard enough. And I started Striving for Excellence with Coach Kimisha Anthony, and then we moved forward from there, and we had a lot of kids coming through our program, and from there, we're doing well.
Yeah.
And just to kind of piggyback off Jason's question, like what would you say during your coaching has been the most challenging aspect of coaching some of the golfers? Because we know mentoring, we love it, it's purposeful, it fills us, but we know it's not easy.
Not always easy.
Not always easy, you know. But what would you say has been the most challenging aspect, and how have you been able to overcome that?
Dealing with Taj behind the camera. It's challenging at times, but I would say it's more fun.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to the point where I would say it is challenging, because it's just fun to watch these guys grow, and it's fun to talk trash with them from the time they're small, and then all of a sudden you look around and they're taller than you and they can beat you.
Yeah.
So it is. It's not challenging as yet. I don't think I've been around long enough for it to be challenging. It's more fun than anything. But Taj, piece of work.
Taj?
Yes, piece of work.
But is there any particular memorable moment of your success story from your coaching history that left a lasting impact on you?
I think this past ECGA, qualifying for the ECGA, seeing Kamali trying to qualify for the national team, Taj trying to qualify for the national team, and also playing on the national team with Akavia and Lexi, who is a part of our program. Akavia started with us when she was like 5.
Wow.
And to play on the national team with Akavia and Lexi, I think that just summarized the whole experience for me as a coach. I always wanted to play, but I keep on not playing. But this year I really wanted to play, and I made the team, and it was just great to hang out that weekend with Akavia and Lexi.
Well, but let me ask you something. Have you, in your coaching career, have you seen anybody any beginner that has come to you and you look at them as like, wow, yo, this kid got it. This kid got it. It's like he doesn't need to come from 5 years to 15 years and now he's good. Like he's there and it's like, wow, look at that swing, look at that form. He seems to be a natural, or she seems to be a natural.
I would say Ciolo. Ciolo came to us, and when he came to us, he's actually up in North Carolina right now, going to high school. He just left this year, September. Ciolo Jose.
Ciolo?
Yes.
Okay.
He was a natural. Serafina Nicholas also, I thought she was actually going to be, a superstar in golf, but she went into, I think, some doctor field. So she's not. She used golf as a platform to get there, which is awesome. But yeah, that and a few others that I've saw, but Ciolo, I would say, yeah. Kamali is looking, but he's going to be good.
And Coach Marlon, before we let you go, we just really want to know, looking ahead in your upcoming years, like what are your aspirations for your coaching career and the programs that you've led, such as the junior and ladies academics?
Retired tomorrow. Looking forward, I think after these guys is finding more people more juniors to get involved in golf, because a lot of juniors or a lot of people think that golf is for the elites, which is it's not. I come from a house in New Winchester that was half broken down. So it's not for the elites. Just getting more kids into golf and getting more kids passionate about golf and growing the game of golf. I think that we have a perfectly good avenue. The government has put in place avenues where at the Cedar Valley Golf Club where you can be in a learning institution and play the game of golf for free. So, and I think growing the game of golf going forward, that is my goal. It should just get a lot more people into golf. And I must say, the president of the Golf Association, Jonathan Pickett, is doing a really amazing job in help growing the game of golf.
But I don't like the fact that you talk about, we want to get more youth involved. What about the senior citizens? What about the senior citizens? You don't have a senior citizen program. You see the grade? We want to do something.
Yeah, that's true, but we have to start from small, build a foundation. Old people are for
start
recreation.
From small. I got to depend on it to teach me.
People, you guys play for recreational purposes, but we would love to have you out on the golf course. We need to put some things in place where we can have more people come out and try the game for absolutely nothing and see if they like it and then go from there. We need a lot more people to come to the golf course. It's a wonderful place and it's a great place for networking for teenagers.
Well, Marlon, Kamali, Nathan, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for enlightening us more about what golf has to offer and what we too can offer to golf if we just put our mind to it. It's not an expensive sport, and it's an ability just to go relax. It's a calming sport,
absolutely,
as these guys have said, and it's fun. So let's take a snap at it. You know what I mean? Patrice and I will try. We're gonna take GNC Sport to the golf course one day. Watch and see something, right? So until the next time, and until we're on the golf course, we want to say thanks to Marlon and the guys for being here, and we'll be right back to the GN Sports Show.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next: Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Kenneth A. Gomez Insurance Agency, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
So everyone, that's a wrap for us. We want to thank you so much for joining us for this 7th episode of the GN Sports Show. It was a pleasure being here to sit in with the wonderful Jason.
The wonderful, you hear that? The wonderful. But don't go anywhere. Before you go, remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends. The more that we grow is the more we can help the youth in sport and the community in sport. So thank you guys so much on behalf of Patrice, myself, GN Sports Show. Thank you so much. See you next week.
GN Sports Show. Interviews, insights, dreams taking flight. We show them how to handle the spotlight, preparing them for the journey ahead, building confidence, the words left unsaid. national scene. Young athletes chasing every dream. In every game there's a story to tell. GN Sports Show, we know them well. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. Show. Interviews where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way.